Hey guys, Joshua Neal here, and today we're looking at Drink by Alestorm, those purveyors of true Scottish pirate metal. Remember, if you enjoy the video, please click like and let me know. You can also leave me a comment. As well, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future updates. And as always, don't forget to grab the full riff by riff note and tab transcription downstairs so you can follow along at home. Alright, let's get to it. So before we get started, we'll need to tune our bass. Alestorm plays in C standard, which means you're going to drop all of your strings a major third. You're going to make the low string C and have that perfect fourths relationship between the rest of the strings. Gareth Murdoch, the bass player for Alestorm, uses a 4-string traditionally, which is what I am using as well. So to get down to C standard, you'll take your low E string and take it all the way down to a C. Your A string is going to come down to an F. The D string will come down to a B flat or A sharp, depending on your tuner. And the G string will come down to an E flat or D sharp. So C, F, B flat or A sharp, E flat or D sharp. So let's get into it. Looking at riff number 1 in the transcription. We're going by at about 160 BPM, so moderately fast. And the first riff, which we're going to also see at the end of the song, looks like... And that's it. So it's all on the low open string. I'm going to call the strings by their standard tuned names just to avoid confusion. So we're on the low E string, and we'll have nothing but low open notes. 1 and rest. 3 and rest. 1 and 3 and rest. So 1 and 3 and 1 and a 3 and that takes us into riff number 1A, where we're going to, again, we're mostly doubling the guitar in this song. Not always, but a lot of the time. Riff number 1A, we'll break it down into its 2 halves. The first half, the first 2 measures, will be... So it's the same low E string rhythm that we had in riff number 1. We're just filling in those rests now with some high C's, or some high E's rather. So exact same rhythm on the low string. 1 and. We're going to jump up to the 7th fret on the A string. Then we'll have 3 E and 4. Again, 7th fret on the A string. Back to the low string, 1 and 2, 7th fret on the A string, and then real quick to those 16th notes on the low string, and 3 and up to the 7th fret again, and this time we're going to go down to the 5th fret on the A string. So that last 2 beats is 3 and 4 and. 7 on the A, 5 on the A. So those first 2 bars all together are 1 and 2, 3 E and 4, 1 and 2, and a 3 and 4 and. And we're going to play that 3 times, and then we'll move out of the repeats into the ending of this particular riff, which is going to be 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1. So we're just going to cut the, it's the same as the first measure in riff number 1A. We're just going to cut right on beat 1 of that second measure. So those last 2 measures getting us out of 1A are 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1. And again, we're going up to the 7th fret on the A string. Open, 7, open, 7, open. And And that gets us into riff number 2, which is going to start on the 7th fret of the A string. It's going to be a lot of even eighth notes on this one. So we're starting on the 7th fret, and we have a full measure of even eighth notes on the 7th fret of the A string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then in the next measure, we're going to stay on the 7th fret for the first 2 beats. 1 and 2 and. Then we'll go down to the 3rd fret on the A string for 2 eighth notes. 3 and. Then up to the 5th fret on the A string for the last beat. 4 and. So far we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Third measure going to be the same as the first, all on the 7th fret of the A. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then the first time we finish up this riff, in the first ending there, we're going to hop down to the 3rd fret again. We'll have 2 beats of that. 1 and 2 and. Then up to the 5th fret for a beat. 3 and then down to the 2nd fret on beat 4 for the 2 eighth notes. 4 and. So that first ending altogether is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You go back to the top of the riff. The first 3 measures are going to stay the same, and then the second ending to finish out the riff starts again on the 3rd fret of the A string for 1 and 2 and. Then again we're going to go up to the 5th fret for 3 and then this time, instead of going to the 2nd fret, we're going to go down to the low open E string and just 1 quarter note on that. So riff number 2 all together with both endings would be starting on the 7th fret. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. First ending, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and back to the top. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Second ending, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Going right into riff number 3. This is the verse riff, and it's going to be the same for both verses. This is probably the trickiest part of the song because we're doing this constant guitar style Iron Maiden type gallop on the mostly on the low string, but the recurring rhythm that you're going to see over and over and over again is an eighth note followed by 2 16th notes. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. We're up to speed. It's if you're doing this song with your fingers, I'm doing it with a pick because that's what the bass player for Alestorm does. If you're doing this with your fingers, you can use the Steve Harris gallop technique, which would either be with just the 2 fingers, and he actually purely alternates when he does this type of gallop rhythm. So if he started with the first finger, and this being the second finger, it would be 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So the downbeat of every beat is going to be a different finger. It's either going to be the first finger or the second finger. If this is a little too tricky for you and you're using your fingers, you can do the 3-finger gallop, which is what I tend to do, where you start each downbeat with the first finger, and then you use the 3rd finger for that first 16th note, and the 2nd finger for that second 16th note. So it goes 1 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2 1, just over and over and over again. I find this one a little easier because the fingers do like to follow each other. It's almost a natural motion the way your hand works, so it's very easy to get them to follow each other. I find it a little trickier to do the Steve Harris style alternating gallop with the first and second fingers. If you're doing it with a pick, for this riff, I tend to just straight alternate pick. So I'm always going down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. You could do this one as alternating based on the notes, which would end up being down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Which for me, I personally find a little bit confusing. I like all of my downbeats, and in the case of 16th notes, my ones and my ands to be a down pick. So I do the pure alternate picking, which is a little bit more work. So if you find that you're just getting physically exhausted doing this type of picking, you can try the pure alternate picking, where you alternate based on the notes and go down, up, down, up. And that'll start to work out like the Steve Harris fingerstyle, where you're starting each beat on a different pick. You'll start one beat with a down pick, and you'll start the other beat with an up pick. But whichever way works for you, as long as the rhythm is good, it doesn't matter how you're playing it. So let's look at the actual notes for this one. We're going to start on the low open E string, and we're going to do that for a full 2 bars. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and then we're going to go up to the 3rd fret on the E string for a full bar. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and then up to the 2nd fret on the A string for a full bar. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and so altogether it's 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and that's just going to repeat over and over again. If you find that the string skip in the middle is too difficult for you at this speed, you can play this 2nd fret A string note on the 7th fret of the E string instead. That way, all you have to do is shift up rather than change strings, which for some people can be a little easier. That way you can keep your pick all on one string for this one. So after we've repeated that riff, it's always going to be 3 times in the verse riff. That takes us into 3A. This is just the final riff in the verse to get us out of it. It starts the same way. It's 2 measures of the low open E. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... Then we'll go to the 3rd fret on the E string again, but only for 2 beats worth. 1 and a 2 and a... Then we'll hop up to the 5th fret on the A string. 3 and a 4 and a... Then we're going to go to straight quarter notes at this point. We'll have 3rd fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the A string, and then 2 open E's. 3, 4. So that whole riff 3A together, nice and slow, is 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Going right into riff number 4, the chorus. We're back up to the 7th fret, the octave on the A string, and we're going to have just straight 8th notes through this chorus, so we get a break from that gallop rhythm for a little bit. We're going to start with 2 measures of even 8th notes on the 7th fret, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then we're going to go to the 5th fret on the D string for a full measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then just hop down to the 5th fret on the A string for a measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then we're back to the 7th fret again for 2 full measures, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then down to the 3rd fret on the A string for 2 beats, 1 and 2 and 5th fret for 2 beats, 3 and 4 and 2nd fret for 2 beats, 1 and 2 and then back to the 7th fret for the last 2 beats, 3 and 4 and. So riff number 4 all together is starting on the 7th fret of the A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5th fret and 2 and 3 and 4 and other 5th fret, 2 and 3 and 4 and 7, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3, 2 and 5 and 4 and 2, 2 and 7 and 4 and that'll repeat again. The chorus riff doesn't change no matter how many times they play it. And the last couple things we need to look at before we're done. Riff number 5, which you can also think of as 1B. This is just a little variation on riff 1A that we have between the first chorus and the interlude. And really the only difference is the ending. The first 2 bars that we play 3 times are exactly the same as they are in riff number 1A. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that open E to 7th fret A with the 7 to 5 on the A ending it up. We're going to play that 3 times just like we did before. And then the measure right after the repeat sign is going to be the same as it was in riff 1A. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And this is where it changes. We're going to almost duplicate the first 2 riffs. Rather than just ending short on beat 1 for that vocal break, we're actually going to continue through. All we're going to do is cut beat 4. Essentially. So it's like we played the first 2 measures again, except we cut off beat 4 of that second measure. So that final measure in riff number 5 is 1 and 2 and a 3 and rest. 1 and 2 and a 3 and rest. So those last 2 measures after the 3 times repeat is 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and a 3 and rest. And the last thing that we need to look at is the bridge, which is not too bad. It's mostly quarter notes, so let's just dive right into it. We're going to start on the open E string. We're going to have 2 measures of even quarter notes on the low E string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the first time, for the first ending, we'll go to the 3rd fret on the E string. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 quarter notes there, and then up to the 5th fret on the A string for another 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'd go back to the top. We'd have those 2 measures of the open low string again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for the second time, the second ending, we're going to go to the 3rd fret on the A string, and we'll have 2 quarter notes there. 1, 2, up to the 5th fret, 3, 4, down to the 2nd fret, 1, 2, and then we have 2 quick 8th notes in beat 3. 3 and then we rest in beat 4. So riff number 6, all together with both endings, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. First ending, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second ending, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and rest. And that's it. There it is, guys. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you did, be sure to click like and let me know. You can also leave me a comment. I do my best to get back to all of those. As well, if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do so you don't miss any future updates. And if you haven't done it yet, be sure to grab that full riff-by-riff note and tab transcription in the About section so that you can follow along at home. And until next time,